Well, as we eye the global impacts of tensions between Russia and Ukraine, you might be wondering, what could the conflict mean for the U.S. economy?
Fox 61's Alicia Machado joining us live in Hartford tonight with how political and economic experts think the situation overseas could impact your wallet. Alicia.
Well, experts we spoke with say we're already seeing the price of oil rise, but we're also monitoring the domino effect that could potentially have on other industries. For instance, travel. A senior flight expert we spoke with says you could see airfare go up as prices for oil rise. And that's just one industry. Take a listen. How much could conflict overseas impact your money in the U.S.? As we monitor the situation between Russia and Ukraine, Dr. Matthew Schmidt, Associate Professor of National Security, International Affairs and Political Science for the University of New Haven, says while Ukraine has no strategic significance to the U.S., be on the lookout for a rise in oil prices.
You're already seeing today, as the markets are driving the price of a barrel of oil upwards of $100. Americans will hear a lot about gas pipelines and wonder about that. It's unlikely that that would affect gas prices, natural gas prices here in the U.S. because we're talking about pipelines from Russia to Europe. We don't get gas from Russia.
The travel industry is also looking out for potential changes as oil prices rise, which could mean more money for your next flight. Willis Orlando, senior flight expert with airfare alert service Scott's Cheap Flights, explains.
We all know those planes use a lot of fuel. So, airline CEOs have been pretty curt about it before. They've said when oil prices go up, we have no choice but to raise fares. So folks can see, average fares rising partially as a result of oil prices.
Orlando says some European airlines are already stopping routes to and from Kiev. As for food prices, Schmidt says while Russia and Ukraine produce a lot of the world's wheat, the U.S. is self-sufficient, so it won't have too much of an impact. Perhaps some on American farmers if the prices on the world market change. But the good news:
the United States isn't tied that closely to the Russian economy. And I think that there could be some effects, mainly through the stock market, anytime there's threat of a conflict. But compared to Europe, I don't think the United States is going to see near as adverse of effects.
Another thing to look out for when it comes to travel, our flight expert says conflict could decrease demand for travel to Europe, which could mean some European flights get pulled back, but also cheaper flights for those areas. That still remains to be seen, though. We'll keep an eye out on it for you. We're live in Hartford tonight. Alicia Machado, Fox 61 News.